Hello Anarchapulco, my name is Jim Gale and I'm going to take you on a tour of Galt's landing here in Central Florida where we are demonstrating freedom every day. Check out the wild turkeys in the back, isn't that beautiful? We are creating a habitat for life, for an abundance of life, and the animals, the birds, the bees, the food, it'll be an explosion of abundance that we create right here at Galt's Landing. And it starts with declaring our freedom. So this sign here at the front gate basically says implied consent is not granted. No government official is allowed to step foot on this property unless they are invited. Now let's go inside. Oh, one more thing. Check out the flag. So there are 3 recognized flags in the United States. There is the war flag with the yellow trim, or there's the captured flag with the yellow trim. There's the war flag that we're all used to, and then there's the civil peace flag. So we fly under the civil peace flag, yet we are very well prepared for whatever may come. So we recognize that there is a food supply chain disaster. The food supply chain has been weaponized. So right here, outside of our gates, we are putting in a garden for the community. We're going to be putting plants that are easily propagatable. Sweet potatoes are number 1. You can eat the leaves, the stems, and the roots, and people are going to be able to come here and they're going to be able to take the sweet potato starts. And also juca and banana and cassava and all sorts of things that go fast. And also, and this is going to be really cool, the students at the school that we are bringing in, they're going to be helping to maintain and manage the food supply here. Look at the size of this grapefruits. My gosh, look at that. Isn't that amazing? So this tree is only 6 months in the ground. We've designed this parking area so you can come in and you can park and be surrounded by fruit tree guilds. This is our area, we call it our Modern Homestead or Freedom Farm Academy. So instead of using lawns like most places do, and by the way, it's an Airbnb. If you want to come and stay here at Galt's Landing, please do. We've got an incredible Airbnb model. And instead of using lawns, everything here is functional and edible. Again, we are completely off-grid. We create all of our own food, water, and energy is on site. We don't need anything from anybody else. If the zombie apocalypse comes, we can shut the gates. We are very well prepared. And the ultimate protection we have is service to our community. So we provide so much extra that we become the food supply for the community. And what's going to happen then? The community is going to protect us. We happen to be at the end of a private road, or at the end of a 5-mile road. This area here is all surrounded by nature. In fact, we're on a private 430-acre lake. We've got a mile-long paved runway to our east. And the intention of this is world leaders, the new leaders, the leaders that we want to be here, are going to be coming to Galt's Landing to learn what freedom's all about. And it's already happening. Oh yeah, let's cut through this way. Isn't this beautiful? I mean, look at those new leaves coming in. This is a little guild here. We've got mint. This is a great way to start the day. We've got comfrey, an incredible medicinal and dynamic accumulator. We've got perennial peanut, another incredible plant that actually fixes nitrogen in the soil. So in this one area here, you can see from this corner, and then look at the basils, all the way down to this end here, there are about 73 different food producing plants in this little area. That's freaking amazing. This could be a lawn. And guess what? This is less maintenance than a lawn. We've done nothing once we designed it and installed it. We've done nothing since except for we have it on a regular irrigation timer And now it's just providing life in abundance. What do you see? Oh, look at the bee. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? She's an early starter. That's awesome. Look at this, see if there's any red ones. The Jamaican cherry tree. There's a bunch of fruit coming on here. You can see those babies. Isn't that amazing? Guava and avocado and automoja and about 40 different types of food growing right here. Look at the mango and ice cream bean. Peaches. Oh, electroculture. So this is an electroculture device, copper wound around a bamboo pole stuck into the ground, and somehow that there's a transfer of energy from the ether, and there's going to be a lot more about that I'm going to share. Look at this, is cranberry hibiscus and pineapple right here. This is a cherry. And this is our outdoor kitchen. Again, this is all brand new. After this, we're going to go to another area that's been in the ground about 16 months, but all the spices and different types of things for cooking. So what we're going to do here, we're going to put a roofing structure on this, and we're going to have classes. I'm going to learn how to cook because I don't know how to cook yet, but that's what I'm going to do. We're going to bring professionals in, and I'm going to learn how to cook on camera so we can take this whole thing full circle. What do you think? These are our little one-bedroom units. When you come, there will be honey from our beehives, and there will be eggs, and there'll be other fruit from the farm right here. And you can go harvest every morning. You can go harvest your own eggs. You can harvest your own salads, your own foods from the property, and that's included in the stay. Isn't that awesome? Completely off-grid. These are Monstera deliciosa. They will go up, like you put them at the base of a tree, and they'll go up and they'll cover the tree. And so we're going to be putting a trellis here. So these will actually go up on the trellis over a couple-year period, and they will create shade and kind of a privacy for the door. And then one of my favorites, lemongrass. Oh, it's amazing. Look at the strawberries and the mangoes, jabba da caba. And this is our amphibian theater, or the amphitheater. It's absolutely amazing. When McKinley and I were here, and it was the first rain of the year, and we dug this little hole to create habitat. And the sounds, the thousands of frogs and crickets and all this stuff started exploding to life. So when you come here and you stay, you can come out here at night, and it's like the most incredible symphony that you'll hear. And we put the water hyacinth in the water to clean up the water, and now all of these, a lot of yellows and golds and purples are going to be coming up here, and it's just going to support so much life. And then we're going to use the water from the pond, which has fish in it. We stocked it, and that water is going to fertilize and irrigate the plants and the crops around here. Now, look at that. Yes. So this whole area here is going to be a healing center. We're working with some amazing people to create a healing center and a community. And McKinley's team, New Energy World, we're going to go over and see some houses, steel frame construction, but this whole area is going to be food forest with healing center. And right here, this is a school. This is a school called Soul School that we're building. And this school model is a world-changing school model. It's the first school that I'm aware of that is financially self-reliant and really self-reliant in every way. The students will grow their own food, they'll create their own school lunches, and then when they're done with their own self-reliance here, they will go into their parents' yards, their families' homes, and they'll create self-reliance for their families. When they're done with that, then they help the community become self-reliant. And it's a business, right? It's a business where they learn entrepreneurship. They learn how to live in a world and create value. And voluntarism is the foundation of everything we do. So they will get paid for the value. They will run the nursery here, and they will propagate plants, and people will love to pay and buy from this school because of the value that the students in the school is providing for our society. It's going to be incredible, and it's scalable, and this is important. No NDAs, no BS. We don't have any patents. Everything we do is to serve, and it's open source. And as a result of that energy, the abundance is coming back exponentially. It's beautiful. So, I'm gonna take these eggs out. Yeah. McKinley, you wanna grab some eggs? All right, brother. I don't want her pecking any more eggs. I'm gonna have to keep track of you. There. There we go. So, this is a temporary chicken area. Eventually, we are creating habitat that the chickens don't need cages. In fact, did you know chickens like to go to the highest part of a tree? So we're going to be creating the habitat so the chickens can get out of the way of predators at night, and they can go hide in their perches. So anyway, I think it's going to be beautiful having no cages in this place. Hey, turkey. So over here is our beehives. My friends, this is not the typical farm. This is so easy to manage. The chickens take maybe an average of 5 to 10 minutes a day to maintain. And how much return on investment do we get for that 5 or 10 minutes a day? We get over a dozen eggs a day, and now with all the babies coming, we've got a bunch of meat coming. So the return on that 5 or 10 minutes a day is really exponential. And the bees are even better. These beehives we put in here about 9 or 10 months ago. And in the first 6 or 7 months, we've already got 30 pounds of honey. It's mind-blowing. It's so amazing. And not only did we get honey, but the bees are going out and pollinating all of our plants and our fruit trees. And they add that extra layer of beauty. And then when you want to come meditate and come sit, in fact, I'm happy Berwick. I was listening to Jeff Berwick talk about Shunyamurti Sat Yoga, and I've been following him ever since. Doing a lot more meditation these days, and this is one of the best places to meditate. There's something about sitting next to a beehive. You can feel the vibration of it. You can feel the frequency, the energy of it. And coming out here a couple times a day and just sitting for 5 or 10 minutes. You know, Tesla said if you want to find the secrets to the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. But there's a word that was misplaced there. Don't think, feel. If you want to find the secrets to the universe, if you want to experience the secrets of the universe, then feel the energy, feel the frequency, feel the vibration all around you at scale. When you start doing this and silencing your mind, you know, governmente is the problem. Mind control is what we're all fighting against. But let's stop fighting and simply live in the present. I know it sounds corny, but the present is the gift from God. This moment is where all the real is. when we can silence our mind and let go of the programs that have held us down in slavery for all these centuries. Let go of the mind control and the programs and center ourselves again. Bring our energy from the thinking mind, the past, to our heart and our stomach. We're more powerful. We can affect change in a better way, and we can rise up to the frequency. The base frequency of freedom is faith and courage. All right. So I want to point something out here. Look at this sand. There's not much life in that sand. So that's what we started with. 16 months ago, this area that we're going to now was Florida sand. It was white sugar sand with almost no life in it. Why? Because this area was pasture, and then we wanted to build the area up to keep it out of the flood zone. And we had a 500-year flood in October, and that fence there was flood up to a foot of that fence. We were about 6 feet out of the water here. And that was a massive flood for Florida. So this land came from a hole we dug over here, a pond we dug. So most of it came from about 10 feet underground, which meant it didn't have much life in it. So what I'm going to show you next blows my mind every day. So this is the start of our permaculture pathway from the lakeside. Check out that lake, 430 acre private lake. It feels miraculous to me that we're sitting on the lake with the only dock on this lake, 45 minutes from the Orlando International Airport. We've got our dragon fruit trellises here and all sorts of different support species and loads of bananas. And this area here is our living salad bar. You can come in here anytime. That's way better than any lettuce you buy at the store. This is Okinawa spinach. We have, this is a fun one. This is a legitimate toilet paper plant. It's called Cuban oregano. It smells amazing, it's soft, it's durable, and it's antiseptic. All right. This is moringa, the tree of life, the miracle tree. More vitamin C than an orange, more potassium than a banana, more calcium than milk, more protein than an egg by weight in these leaves. We got sweet potatoes all through here, Seminole pumpkins, and longevity spinach. You put all this stuff together, you've got the healthiest salad you've ever had in your life. And then for some color and taste, you add the cranberry hibiscus. Look at the shape of that beautiful creature. That's one of my favorites. If you haven't had cranberry hibiscus, I suggest growing some. It's so easy. And now to propagate this is just amazing. If you want to start a new cranberry hibiscus plant, you take one of these, you cut it off, you stick in the ground, you've got a new plant. Nature is infinitely abundant. Right? The lie that we've been told is of fear and scarcity. That's the ultimate poison in our world, that somehow we are overpopulated. Bullshit. It's the ultimate lie, is that humans are the problem. Now, we have to take responsibility. Have we been part of the problem? Absolutely. The half-truth is that, you know, what the deep state and what all these wicked people around the world want us to think is that we are the problem and we should feel ashamed, we should feel humiliated, we should feel bad about ourselves. No, we are the stewards of this land. When we start, and it's so simple, when we take out the poisons and grow food instead of lawns, right? We've done no maintenance here for 16 months, except for we've trimmed the pathway, right? And eventually, I was just telling Carlos, I don't even want to trim the pathway. This is way better to walk on than this. So let's just have the perennial peanut cover it, and we'll have a perennial peanut pathway. So again, this doesn't have to be any maintenance. If you want a fancy landscape that fits your HOA guidelines, then sure, you can make it fancy looking. You can have it designed to be really pretty to the eye. Now, I think this is way better to the eye. You know, people say money doesn't grow on trees. They don't have a freaking clue. Wealth grows on trees. So what our job is right now is to compost the fiat. When we compost billions of dollars of fiat and we turn that into the Garden of Eden and food forests everywhere, we solve all of the world's biggest problems. Mass extinction, deforestation, cancer, diabetes, heart disease. We end world hunger and we end tyranny. And we end the tools of tyranny, taking away the fear and the scarcity model, and then the weaponized food supply, the poisoned food supply. When we simply take the poisons out and grow food instead of lawns, we solve all of the world's biggest problems. Longevity spinach is another one of my favorites. My partner Marcel is an art lover, and he somehow found this piece of art, saw it in a magazine, and he said, Jim, we got to have this at Galt's Landing. So he bought it, sent it over from South Africa. This is a piece of art by an artist named Hank Willis Thomas, who suffered through the apartheid in South Africa. And who controlled South Africa? Well, of course, the crown. And this symbolizes the force and violence of governmente. Right? I think this is like a British police baton. And this is the farmer's arm saying, we no longer comply with your bullshit. Right? So, now this device here, I don't know how to explain this real well because I don't get it. Like, it's Tesla-esque. It's an atmospheric harmonizer. And it was sold to me as a device that could help bust up chemtrails and help create a higher vibration, a frequency in the atmosphere. And when we put it in the ground and we plugged it in, it's got a little 9-volt battery. I looked up in the sky to observe the chemtrails. And there was a plane, and this is on film. I took a film of this, and there's a plane coming right over the middle. And above us, the chemtrail was dispersed by 60 or 70% from about 30 degrees that way to about 30 degrees that way. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if it was a coincidence or a fluke, but I'm glad I have this thing. And this, from Essential Energy, my buddy Dan, this is an EMF disperser somehow. Again, I don't know how to explain this stuff. I'm glad I have it though. In fact, we were at dinner here a few weeks ago in Spokane, Washington. I was at a science fair put on by Aaron Murakami, and there's magic going on there. Free energy, Tesla's energy, is not a hypothetical. It's a demonstrable fact, right? Guess what? It doesn't violate any of God's laws. It's just a recognition or an awareness of the energy that's all around us all the time. So this device here from Essential Energy, we were at dinner the other night. I was with Dan and I, and then General Blaine Holt came to visit us. He was about 20 minutes late. But anyway, so Dan brought a plate, and he said, Jim, try your wine before you put it on the plate. So I tried my wine, and it was normal wine, and at the end it had a little bit of a bitterness to it. He said, okay, now put it on the plate. Put it on the plate for a minute. He said, now try your wine. I tried it. It was noticeably different. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it's a fact that it was different. So then Blano comes. He's more of a wine connoisseur, and we did the same thing. Before he even sipped it, he smelled it after putting it on the plate, and he goes, I can't, it's different. He tasted it, and he's like, oh my God, this is a very interesting EMF device, and this has got tensor technology and orgonite, and anyway, if you want to know more about these, I can introduce you to the guys that brought them to me. All right. And this is where I sit and do podcasts, right here. A lot of them. I was just on with Mike Adams on a couple different shows. I sit right there, do the podcast in the food forest. It lifts my spirits. It lifts the energy. In fact, we've had hundreds of visitors, and we have 100% success rate. Every single person that visits here leaves inspired. Oh, and this is the best part. 16 months ago, there was nothing here but sand, right? Remember I showed you the white sugar sand? 16 months ago, there was nothing here. It was just white sugar sand, and now it can feed multiple people every meal they need. When you add the chickens in, we've got cows in the cattle pasture, we've got fish in the pond and in the lake. We are completely food self-reliant, and we actually have much excess. And what do we do with the surplus? We reinvest it in society, and then the energy wheel, it's like an abundance of energy everywhere. And you know, it'd be important that I also share that this is permaculture design, right? Everything we're doing is not a hypothetical demonstration to all of the world's biggest problems. It's a demonstratable solution to all of the world's biggest problems. Like, why do we have seashells instead of concrete or asphalt? Because when it rains, it puts calcium and minerals into the soil. And why do we have perennial peanut? Well, it's a nitrogen fixer. Comfrey is a dynamic accumulator. So we put guilds of plants together in a designed functional way. Even the pineapple guava that we have at the beginning, they are hardy and they can take a cold wind, because it gets kind of cold here in Orlando once in a while. The Mexican sunflower, that's another incredible chop and drop and a windbreaker as well. So look at how big that is. And that was only planted about 7-8 months ago. The only lawn in our community is right here. And we are going to be putting all sorts of different fruit trees in this area. And some of the folks love the lawn. I don't hate lawns. It's the balance that is insane in our world, and it's the poisons. Number one, by far, is when we take the poisons out. If that's all we did, we're take the poisons out of our landscape, nature, God's design, would explode to life again in ways that will blow your mind, that would cure all those diseases. So anyway, no poisons anywhere on our property. And we love tennis, so we've got tennis. Our kids love volleyball, so we have volleyball. In fact, the other night, we had a really fun party here, and it was about 12:40. I left the party, and I hadn't played tennis for about a week. So I called some of the 16-year-old kids that have played tennis here. We played till 3 in the morning, lights on, music on, having a blast. And this is a good angle to check out the solar panels too. Now, Aaron Murakami, him and his friends, they've taken Tesla's research and been digging into it for decades, and they have created systems that are, well, we're going to be installing these systems here, and we're having a party on November 11th to demonstrate the abundance of nature, food, water, and energy solutions that are going global fast and solving all these problems, creating that parallel economy that we need because we recognize what's going on. And again, Anarchapulco, I love you guys. Everybody, I just love the whole thing. I am an anarchist to the max, through and through. Anarchy simply means no ruler. I don't have a ruler. I'm the author of my own story. McKinley! So, this is our brother McKinley, who is well connected in the world. Look at that. Unlearn, right there. Unlearn.
This guy will give you the shirt off his back.
So, what do we got here? This is my family's lifetime home, and I can't even express how grateful I am to Krish and McKinley. Thank you, Krish, by the way, behind the camera, and McKinley for all of the pieces of the puzzle they've brought to our lives. So thank you, brother.
Oh man, it's just a blessing to be able to be here. I mean, what a blessing. This place is amazing. We can't believe this has been a dream for us since we first started back in 2013 down in
10 years ago.
10-year overnight.
Well, yeah, 10-year overnight success.
We were down in Panama with Pastrana and Nitro Circus guys and Joby and all the good people that I believe are around the Anarchapulco crowd. You guys are so awesome. I can't wait to be down there. But we're demonstrating it. You've been such a catalyst for us to show that it's possible. You know, all these projects we get, these cookie cutter big communities making money, it's not the bigger purpose is what we're able to be a part of here. So what we want to do is demonstrate, like you, that you can have no compromises. You can have all of the luxury, all the quality, and the health of the homes. People are getting sick from the mold in the walls. These are no bugs, no mold, no fire, won't burn, and they're fast. As this was all 2 days of work.
Yeah.
We've been able to train kids. You know, we were in India. We got to train all these kids that couldn't even speak English. My own daughter's been doing the work.
Oh. And what is the work? The work is taking these frames that come in on big trucks and get laid down.
Yeah, well, it's
assembling.
So it's 80% recycled already from the beginning. So there's old cars in here.
Yeah.
There's just all of the old metal gets recycled now. So it's come to a point where we can make it affordable. So it's like a little puzzle. In the shop, you put it together. Then they show up like all this here in prefabricated panels, and then you just stand them up, screw them together, and it all just comes together.
So it's like a 3D printed cold form steel frame house that is more durable. It has no mold, no fire. I mean, it's incredible.
And then
no termites.
And we're always looking for new technologies, and we're always evolving. You know, we call ourselves a Vista vertically integrated sustainable technology agency.
Yeah.
So we have you've brought some people to us where we vet it, we look at it, we find ways to work together so we can package it and make it easy for anyone to have these communities now, whether it's one house with a food forest lawn, which we're speccing everywhere.
What's that, buddy? Hey, buddy. Oh, no, it's good. No, guys. That's okay.
Our main man, Mark, over there, and Lucas and his team. So we are able to offer this as a revenue generator now. What I love that I believe we've brought value, but you've brought value to us, is that we can share with other developers that you want this food forest, you want to be self-sufficient. Whether it's a senior home or whether it's kids or whether it's a community, you can have your grocery store on site, and then we have packages of homes where you can pick and choose, and then you can have them for what you do here, rentals or your own home. And we're just super happy to be a part of this community.
Oh, it's so amazing, brother. Man, I can't tell you how exciting this is, seeing it all come together after, and this is we're sharing. About 23 years ago, I started a mortgage company. I was dead broke at the time, and it did $1.3 billion in revenue in 3.5 years from scratch. And I didn't like the industry. I got out, bought a boat. I moved to Costa Rica. That's where I had my first 2 daughters. I red-pilled, and I learned permaculture all at the same basic time. I had time. I studied it sometimes 12 hours a day. I was blown away by how the world really works. I was skeptical, but infatuated in finding the truth of the matter. And so I invested everything. I invested basically $20 million into bringing the solution to the world because I've got daughters and I want to see a world of abundance for our grandkids and beyond. And I, at first, did not see a path to freedom. I did not see a path to world peace. I did not see the solutions. And then I read Bill Mollison's quote, "Though the problems of our world are increasingly complex, the solutions remain embarrassingly simple, joyfully simple." And I started to bawl. And I've been focused ever since then. And I invested everything. I was negative 80,000. About 30 months ago, I was in debt, 80,000. I was dead broke. I didn't have a job. The government shut down, not COVID, the government shut down my business at a mall, which was kicking ass. It was open 3 months. I invested all my last bit into that business. And the government shut us down. I didn't know what to do. And that's when I was broke. It was my dark night. And I stepped into faith and courage. I was listening to some speaker, some teacher, and I stepped into it with my full being, recognizing that this is a temporary suit, right? This is not who we are. This is temporary. That's fundamental. To have faith and courage, we got to recognize that this is a temporary situation. James Patrick Gale, which I just learned about 1.5 years ago, James is to defeat, overthrow, or supplant. Patrick is noble, and Gale is strong wind. My character is here to be a strong wind for change, to light the fire and then blow that fire everywhere. And together, we're resonating together, we're coming together. And you all feel this, you know this. We have more good friends in the last 3 years. If you get out there and tell your truth with faith and courage, then you will attract the most incredible groups of people to be with you in this journey. We are at war. This is a spiritual battle between live and evil, right? It's live backwards. The devil never lived. It's backwards. It's all subverted. AI, all that bullshit. This is GI that we're expressing, right? This is the big I. Let's come together with faith and courage and frequency, and let's demonstrate freedom at every level. So that's what we're doing, brother.
Love it, man.
Woohoo!
Love
All right, come check this out. So show us these panels too.
Yeah. You can see here, as we go, every panel is actually numbered, so when they are in the shop they can see it. It might just look like a regular steel frame, but every one of these cuts, swages, screw holes are already done in the shop. It's all 3D designed, so it is a 3D print by definition. It's a software controlled CNC machine, so everything is perfect and it goes together perfectly just by lining up the holes in the shop. And then this whole panel came over from one of those stacked over there. Put it together, follow the map, screw it together.
So 2 days. So the cost of these homes is similar to stick built, because that might be more expensive than lumber, but let's keep the trees in the ground, and then that goes up so much faster that your labor is decreased massively, right?
Yeah, it balances. The material would cost more, but the labor's faster, so it balances out. We're able to match the cost of wood with a way better product and know that we're keeping those trees in the ground. Those trees are breathing. They're the metrics that we've done and are out there actually are comparing to red iron production. So when you hear about these mills and it's like bad, well, that's not cold form steel. There's 80 to 90% recycled in here.
That's amazing.
Actually learned that the other day. It used to be 25, now it's all the way up to 80, 90.
Let's recycle the military industrial complex, right? Let's take all that steel that's used to destroy life on Earth and let's turn it into housing. It's a no-brainer.
Love it. And we're looking at getting, I know your schools are going to be amazing, so we need more workforce. We got some great guys here.
Thank you guys, we're
good.
good.
New generation of jobs that you can be a part of, and we can have a path to being able to work in an amazing place like this. This is a dream every day, waking up, getting to hang out and experience it, and we feel like we've got land partnerships across America, and then we've got places where we can send workers, but we also have the packages for real estate deals to share with everybody.
Boom! So in other words, together, everybody listening, we are coming together with a common mission. Life on Earth, right? Because Black Rock is not only the name, it's the intention of the entity, of the parasite that is destroying our world, that is siphoning the money out by using a computer named Aladdin, and siphoning that money out by certain ways of betting, right? It doesn't produce any value. It simply siphons the energy of humanity out, and then it invests that energy into the corporations that are literally destroying our world. Black Rock, by their deeds you shall know them. So what if we demonstrate it in such a way that it inspires the good people of these entities to say, no, I will not do this anymore. No, I will not participate in the destruction of our world. People from like the True Green Lawn Care, right? And here's how fast this can happen. True Green Lawn Care is owned by one of the oldest investment firms in the world, partners with BlackRock, and they go around spraying glyphosate. They have an amazing network of trucks and vats and people and resources. This one inspiration where they take out the poisons from their vats and they put in compost tea, and then they start spraying compost tea on everything, that one switch will change the world. Now let's get into the school thing, right? We got to take the poisons out of the school lunches. What would happen if every school in the United States took the poisons out, and the students learned permaculture, and the students started growing their own food at the school, and then every school will become a nursery, that would change the world as well. What about prisons? We're putting, by the way, we're doing this. We're designing food forests for prisons here, and we're helping the inmates grow their own food. What would be the result if the prisoners grew their own food, their own healthy, poison-free food? Well, they would be healthier, they would be able to think better, they would feel better, the cost to the taxpayer would go down significantly, and guess what? This isn't a hypothetical solution to prison reform. It's been done. It was done in California, and when it was done, the recidivism rate, the rate of reincarceration, went from over 35% to under 10%. Way more than a 50% reduction in crime simply by prisoners investing in growing their own food and learning the process. Now, what if some of these political candidates started talking about actual frickin' solutions? That's why I don't trust any of them yet. But I think we're going to change that, because it's not the politicians, the politics, right? The many blood-sucking creatures. It's the policy that matters. So let's bring in policy. Let's help demonstrate that it is in their best interest. And then when we hear somebody that speaks this way, let's all gather our energy behind that person. We know that the machines are all screwed up and that a true election could probably never happen. But we also know that when somebody's going to take the lead in demonstrating these solutions, that's when we get together and we support this solution. It's called permaculture. It's all over the world already. So it's not a new thing. It's the Garden of Eden. I mean, it's everywhere. So I'd like to share about this pond. This pond this was a flat pasture 2 years ago. And it's now about a 4-acre pond. It's 25 feet deep. The material was used to build up that land. We put 7 different species of fish, 14,000 fry, baby fish in the pond. We put sunnies, crappies, bass, catfish, mosquito minnows, fatheads, and shiners. And now the pond is a life-giving system to the max. And then we use the water from the pond to fertigate on an automated timer the food forest. So it's no effort. In fact, there's some rows over here. You can see those rows. I was getting crap one day. Yeah, let's go this way. We got time. Look at that. Brian, Hickok, and Christy, there are great. In fact, they've been to Acapulco at least, I think, twice. Brian taught me a lot of stuff about the true nature of good and evil. I didn't believe it. I didn't for years, and I want to share this with people because for years I did not believe in evil. I didn't think it was real. I thought it doesn't make sense. Like, why would these people want to destroy the world? It just like, what? Well, when I finally recognized that by their deeds you shall know them, when I finally recognized that they are intentionally strategizing to destroy the world and destroy life on earth, I was like, okay, thank God I finally know that. Now, when you finally know what the actual problem is, then you can rise up to the solution. Hey, check this out. Look at these incredible medicines. Look at this. Wow. Anybody know what those are? This is one of the best medicines in psychology that there are. Okay, here's another one here. Look at this. A little bit of a micro dose. Isn't that beautiful right there? Look at that creature. And we're gonna go say hi to the cows. Permaculture is about balance. It's about using and working with and stewarding all of God's creatures and helping to maintain the balance of things. All right, so I appreciate the heck out of all my vegan friends. I am an omnivore. I choose because I believe that there's something very powerful about the balance that we help steward in this landscape. Hey, my friends, look at you. Woo-hoo. You want a mushroom? Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. That is manna from heaven. It's a gift from heaven right there. It's so good. Look at that. These are Jamaican cherries. There's different names. The strawberry tree. This is a guava. The smell around here, I wish you could smell this. It's just so alive. So I was getting some hell the other day from a guy. He was criticizing, saying, Jim, you are underplaying the maintenance of a food forest. You have to talk more about maintenance. So I came out here with my camera and I asked myself sincerely, I love criticism. I love feedback like that. So anyway, I said, okay, what maintenance have we done? We put this in about 20 months ago. What maintenance have we done in 20 months? And I started laughing before the question was even out of my head, out of my mouth. The only maintenance we've done in this food forest, which has like, I don't even know, hundreds of different plants. The only maintenance we've done is we've mowed the lawn in the middle. So I think eventually we'll have 0 lawns, you know, no more lawns. All right, let me get a good one for you, McKinley. Oh, this is a good one for you. Here, take that one. I'm gonna get one more of these. These are so delicious. Oh my God. Juca, cassava, you know, raspberries, sweet potatoes, ice cream bean, moringa, more longevity spinach, more raspberries, more cranberry hibiscus, more dill. Look at the different, I mean, it's just, look at this. This is no maintenance. And we did have a 40-year freeze and a flood all in last October. The flood was up to my, probably about, it was about a foot deep throughout this whole area, maybe a 1.5 feet deep. Look at the pineapple. And then the freeze actually did a little bit more damage, but almost everything came back. Part of the reason it came back is because there's water on both sides. In an area maybe a mile from here or a half mile from here where there's no water, water is a heat sink, it's a temperature moderator. There was people that had the same plants I did, but they lost some of their plants. So if you can have a pond, that's awesome. For those cold nights, maybe it dip down into the 29 range, which it did here. And of course, the plants that we plant in permaculture by zone. So whatever the agricultural zone is, those are the plants that are adapted to that zone are the plants that you're going to want to plant. And that's all part of the permaculture design process. In fact, we started, thank you Del Bigtree for hosting us on the High Wire about, it was Earth Day 2021. So what is that, 27 or 8 months ago? It was just me at the time and Travis. And we now are in 54 countries and 50 US states helping people grow food. We are bringing people together to the best of our ability because that's what we can do. In fact, another concept comes to mind. You've probably heard of the book Think and Grow Rich with Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill was commissioned to study the most successful minds in the world, the most successful manifestors. And Napoleon Hill deducted, after a lifetime, decades of study of these individuals, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. That's a pretty powerful concept. I've been playing with that. What I can conceive and believe is peace on earth. What I can conceive and believe is that we are going to achieve this ideal of the Garden of Eden everywhere. It's already been done in many pockets, so it's not a hypothetical. It's simply logical. It's how it should be. The Garden of Eden everywhere. And peace on earth. It's going to happen right now, my friends. I love you, I love you, Anarchapulco. Thank you for everything you're doing, for all the organizers, everybody involved. Let's change the world. Together, we win.